Good afternoon, welcome to Market Wrap number 114. A quick trip around the UK property prices, the property market, see what the underlying factors are, to see what's motivating it and making it work. Stuart Williamson here at the helm. It's the Market Wrap for APW. Please do like and subscribe if you can. Please do share. We just zoomed past 2,000 subscribers, which is great, although it's a lot compared to many. This week we're covering government fiddles while the UK economy burns, residential property demand falls, UK in recession, global property crash occurring, Peaky Blinders is in Birmingham, and 50-year mortgages hit the UK market. Quite extraordinary. So Boris moving out of Downing Street, on holiday in Greece apparently, rather than focusing on managing the economy. Excuse me. As inflation hits 9%. Then you've got Rishi and Liz Truss fighting it out. No one's even watching what's going on, it would appear. We've got headlines such as energy bills would eat up 1/6 of salaries out there. Apparently energy bills will basically take that much of someone's salary when the price cap is raised in January. The average monthly pay is currently $2,272, says the ONS, Office of National Statistics. In January, the energy price cap is forecast to rise to £4,266. Analyst Cornwell Insight found this means that 16% of the average monthly pay will go on energy bills. It comes as the value of pay packets has fallen by 3% in real terms, the steepest drop since records began in 2001, while the average salary increased by 4.7% in a quarter compared to the same period of 2021. Inflation has also hit a 4-decade high of 9.4% in June. It really makes you concerned for the UK economy and what's going to happen to housing prices. The latest RICS report, Royal Institute of Chart Surveyors, has just come out, July, and it's reported that new buyer demand is down, but limited supply of stock and continues to underpin house price values. And that is the issue. There's not enough stock out there, and people have changed their buying patterns, so it is holding up the marketplace. These results indicated by RICS are indicative of continued easing in the sales market activity, with the numbers on demand and sales remaining modestly negative territory over the month. Higher interest rates and a weakening macroeconomic landscape are widely cited to be contributors to be causing this softening in momentum. That's obvious, isn't it, really? People are worried about interest rates, they don't want to go out and buy. But as we covered last week, 3% interest rate, is it really that high? It would appear for the time being at least, low levels of supply are underpinning the purchase prices, and again this month prices went up all over the UK. Looking at new buyer inquiries, the headline net balance came in at minus 25% for July, following on from minus 27% in June, so that's 3 months running. As such, this marks the third successive report which has the indicator has been negative territory, representing the longest stretch of falling demand since the beginning of the pandemic. What does that mean for the UK property market? Basically, many people are taking their first holiday in 2 years, which is contributing to a very slow supply summer, i.e. people aren't putting their houses on the market because they're on holiday. However, the supply will pick up with the usual seasonal trends, Knight Frank believes, during the autumn. And Knight Frank also maintains their view that house prices will cool to close the year on single digits. And this is their chart reflecting that. And we've been through this last week about, are interest rates really going to be the end of the world? And people do seem to get caught up in that. Let's look at other markets around the world and see what's happening there. Because what Savills are saying, Knight Frank are saying rather, seems to be at odds with other markets, potentially. In Canada, Desjardins, which is a big financial services firm, released their outlook on what they thought property prices would be in June. He suggested there would be a 15% fall on a national basis by the end of 2023. I can't do a Canadian accent. It's quite good though. Canucks, aren't they? Now they're saying it'll be a fall between 20 and 25% by the end of next year. Similarly, in New Zealand, annual rate of house price growth has now fallen to negative territory for the first time in 11 years. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand will more than likely increase rates again this month by 0.5%, the fourth time. And they're expecting house prices to fall by 8.1% this year alone. Sweden is now declining. The central bank there expects peak to trough decline of more than 16% by the end of 2023. An interesting point is, though, none of those falls in any of those markets would take it below the level that it started at 2 years ago, at the outset of the pandemic. So what does that mean for the UK? Is the UK completely out of link, or will it fall too? This last quarter we had our first actual recession quarter. GDP contracted by 0.1% in the second quarter, according to the ONS. So again, is this another indication of the end is nigh, as we're seeing in many of the tabloid newspapers? The contraction accelerated towards the end of the quarter, with output shrinking by 0.6% in June, though there were fewer working days due to the Jubilee. So it's the Queen's fault. Services led the contraction, declining by 0.4%, but good spots were tourism, accommodation, food services, arts, entertainment and recreation. So things were up to a certain extent. With more people working in the third quarter, much of that will be sorted out, and it looks like there won't be a recession in the third quarter, but that is not going to make the Bank of England worry and not increase interest rates. Interest rates will go up again before Christmas, and as I said before, we're looking at a peak next year. Interest rate swaps are suggesting that it will come down by December 2023. Now, clients often ask us, what is the underlying rationale for buying in places like Manchester and Birmingham? And lots of reports do have them at the top of the places to buy. Simple stuff is, we've got the Northern Powerhouse situation going on. We've got HS2, levelling up agenda. But let's look at what's happening in the entertainment world, because that often brings on quality of tenant to locations. And you do see that in a lot of these places. So in Manchester, supported by Screen Manchester, the film office of Manchester City Council, the city is the second biggest filming location after London. It has been host to a wide number of major screen productions, including Sherlock Holmes, Darkest Hour, Snatch, Tolkien and Peaky Blinders. Tolkien and Peaky Blinders, that should be at odds really, because both of those were written based on Birmingham. The Northwest region has the largest concentration of stage space outside of London and the South East, with 24% of the UK studios, along with all its education facilities, high quality amenities, and a vibrant city and a vibrant and unique city culture that brings these lovies, these great people to town. You know, it's also got great transport links to London. It has the largest purpose-built complex suited to film and high-end TV dramas in Space Studios, where Peaky Blinders was filmed, and it currently benefits from 6 stages and over 80,000 square feet of place. It's planning for an expansion, which will give it another 20,000 square feet, and all the ancillary parts to it. This really is quite extraordinary. And the people who are using this production space are proper companies like Sky, Marvel and Disney. In addition, you got Salford Keys, where the BBC are. There's a company there called Doc 10, which supports production of coverage for sports broadcasters such as Match of the Day, Question of Sport and Football Focus. Now Birmingham is coming along. Basically we have Stephen Knight's heading up Mercian Studios. He says that Peaky Blinders will be filmed there and not in Manchester if he has anything to do with it. He's quoted as saying that it'll be 1 million square foot of development, and it'd be in Digbeth, which is a really growing and revitalised area. It'll be a 38-acre studio complex, with the BBC being part of that. I think they were doing Line of Duty there, next 2 series. And Stephen Knight also said he's working in partnership with a AAA list Hollywood star and director, who we understand to be Steven Spielberg and Tom Tutika Cruz. So Birmingham's got a lot going for it. He said, Mr. Knight said, if it's only an hour from London, I can get the quality actors to come an hour out of London. He's also working on SAS Rogue Heroes for the BBC. And he said, as you can see, with the BBC coming to Birmingham, people are coming not just for the studio, but for Birmingham in general. He said these are very exciting times to be living in Birmingham. Finally, 50-year mortgages come to the UK. Who would have thought that? A company called Perenna, a UK-based specialist lender, said it would initially launch a 30-year loan before later rolling out 50-year terms after being granted permission by the Bank of England. Rates for the initial loans are expected to be between 4 and 4.5%. This is a response directly to the number of people searching for 10-year fixes rising, and it's risen by 54% in the last year, according to 27 Tech, the mortgage data firm. Borrowers are trying to negate the effects of rising interest rates and soaring inflation by fixing their loans for longer periods. More than 145,000 borrowers sought these long-term loans in the last week alone. That's quite extraordinary. So there we are for the week. That's some APW Market Wrap. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much for listening. Do take care. Cheerio.